So this is what our Portlet looks like, the desktop view. Yeah, this is a student view of it. You can see our background Portlet, so we have kind of a customized background from the default portal. And now the mobile view on the left-hand side, that's our mobile view. It's using universality. On the other side is our new iOS app that we built that uses the JSON feeds from the layout uPortal, and then it reconstructs into a native view. And whenever you click on one of these options, it opens up in a web container and shows the Portlet with the jQuery mobile view of that Portlet. So a Portlet overview. There's of course the Apereo sponsored Portlets, and this is usually where we start. You know, if we're looking to build some new service or whatever, we make sure that we're not reinventing the wheel. So we'll go out on their website, figure out what's there, figure out what's applicable to us. Now, if it's not in there, then we start looking how we can modify an existing Portlet, or we will have to create something brand new that hasn't been done yet. So it's real easy to make your own. There's an archetype out there that you can use. It'll give you the basic shell of a Portlet. Most of you probably already know this. So our mission, back in 2009, we just wanted to be a student portal. You know, make all of our resources in one spot. Now in 2014, we have that same mission, but now it's starting to expand into retention and some other things. Because now in the state of Michigan, a lot of our funding comes through graduation timing. So it's not how many students you have anymore, but how efficient you are getting those students a degree and getting them out. So this is kind of a high-level snapshot of all the different Portlets that we have. We have financial aid, and we use some of the stuff in JSON, like search, course Portlet, which contains grades. We've added my details to the academic suite. We also have progress degree. We have the brand new advising suite that we're going to deploy actually next week. We use the Apereo calendar. We have created a new Airbus Portlet, which is using Transloc's bus tracking system. Then we also use the Apereo web preview Portlet, or web preview Portlet, and then of course the content management. So the financial aid Portlet, it integrates with our banner system. It has a very low data rate really on it. It's just a one-time hit. It's coming through on a JSON feed. We're actually working on decoupling it now. We're going to open it up so other folks can download it. But this is what it looks like. It has requirements that are needed from the student. It has, if they're academically satisfactory to get those awards, and then ultimately any awards that have been granted to the student. Now, down at the bottom, you can see that the students already obtained a award, and they've already used it all. We modified the search Portlet a little bit. It integrates with our Google custom search. They're on different tabs, so the student can flip over from either the portal results or they can go to the Google results. It's the same as our main website. And here's what it looks like. This is the way it looks on our website, so it's showing that it's the same feed results. Now, the courses Portlet has course data, and midterm data, and final grades data. It was originally created from UW-Madison. The student can click on it in a classroom, and it displays what academic building it is being in on Google Maps. We modified the API a little bit, so the data is actually in the calendar Portlet. So if a student clicks on a certain day on the calendar, it'll show what classes they need to attend during that day. Also, it has all university events mapped within it. So this is what their schedule looks like. It has a drop-down for whatever term they want to go to. They can switch between schedule and grades. At the bottom, you can see a link for buying books. They can click on a single sign-on link to Moodle. Also, they can run a progress degree to figure out if they're meeting all their needs to graduate, or if they want to switch majors or whatever, it'll tell them what they need to do differently in their academic career. Now this is the detailed information on a course. It shows your professor, the class title, the CRN, the meeting location, the times of the week that they're meeting, the room, and then the same footer links as previously. Grades, you can see where it has the credit hours, midterm grades, and the final grades. Once again, they can look at all prior academic history or the current term. And then the mobile views are just using jQuery mobile. Same data, just a different display, a little bit. Basically, we pivot the data around so it's easier to display. And then this is the detailed view. You can see a student that doesn't have a grade yet, and then once they do have a grade, what's a 4-point or whatever grade they receive. And this is another view of the grades. I can just go to this view where instead of one class at a time, they get a full list of every class that term they took, and so they don't have to dig down deeper, and it's a quick view of the board. More detailed views of what they'll plug in. The data, cool.
So the My Details Portlet is a really simplistic Portlet design, but it has all the students' basic information there. Identification number, what college they belong to, if they're an undergraduate. This is kind of huge because their ID number is something that every student doesn't remember, but can easily access. So it's usually good when you need your Grizzly ID for something that is either registration or something, and they can just log on quick to the portal and check it out. We'll be adding graduation information. This is something that the advisors really wanted, something that they can easily get access to and tell once they're close to graduation, just click this button, and it's supposed to be really easy. So this is a desktop view. Like I said, really simplistic. There's a link to the college that you go to, so if you need help on advising or need to schedule a meeting, it's just a click. And this is the mobile view. It's basically everything I said before, but rotated 90 degrees. So progress to degree. This is basically running a degree audit to see how close the student is to graduation. It's a really fun project to work on, and as you can see here, but the students love this. This is probably the best thing that we've gotten the most feedback from. That they can see clearly all the courses that they have, what they need to take, what's already been taking, and all of it. So this is just a subsection of general education for a student. On the left side, or on the right side, is all their information about their degree. Majors, minors, concentrations, all that will be displayed over there. What catalog they turn, or what catalog term they belong to, and nice little progress bar that shows you how close you are. Now this is what it looks like if you haven't completed anything, and one of the biggest responses we got was a little gold circle, which at first, didn't seem very intuitive. If you're, in progress of the course, it's not completed yet, so we had next, but students were having a problem with this, and they go, when if it's in progress, it was actually marked as a check mark, because you will eventually complete it. At least that's what they assume. So students said, oh, I already took this class, and then they would start dropping the courses, and they would start yelling at the advisors. So that little gold circle was probably the best thing we've done out of this project. And this is our mobile view. It's using jQuery UI on top of jQuery mobile, so everything that, all the subsections that you saw earlier now collapsed into a nice little grid. You click on one and it expands instead of, if you need to look at something down at the bottom, like do I finish all my electives, rather than scrolling forever on your phone trying to find out if you have it, it's already collapsed, and then clicking on one will actually collapse the rest of it, and then expand just the one at the bottom. So the advising suite, this is a new suite of portlets that we've been working on. It's taking existing technologies that we've already had and kind of merging it all into one. So it's basically a more beefed up courses portlet along with the degree progress and the My Details that you saw earlier. We're also starting to make use of the CMS Portlet and the bookmarks portlet, and incorporate that all into one. So this way the student, and we have one of them where the advisor can actually swap as a student to figure out all their information. So simple desktop view, these are all the portlets that you saw earlier, and I'm sure all of you know how CMS Portlet works and bookmarks portlet. But the one all the way over on the far side is where an advisor can type in a student's identification number, and all this information will be displayed according to the student that they enter. And then once they're done, they can clear it, and then all this information is actually gone, and the portlets are now empty, and then the new student can come in the next meeting, they can go it again without actually having to leave the portal. And the advisors are really kind of don't know about this. They're really excited. This is something that we're hoping to, well, not hoping, we will be pushing out within the next week. So, like Aaron mentioned before, we had an integration with the courses portal and the calendar portal. The calendar portal itself is really awesome. Now you can have separate feeds, not only just something like we have the courses portal that's modified in there, but you can also get any like iCal feed and add that in there as well. And then students have the option to customize it and add more. So basic view, all the campus events we have, and the OU class schedule from the courses portlet, and then US holidays and Face of the Moon are in there by default. Now, the bus tracker portlet. This was just really simple. We use a company called Translock, and they started to track all of our buses, and this is just taking all the information that they provided, and then we shoved it into a book on the view. So our snail mail, and I always think that says snail mail for some reason, but this is just a small modification of the email preview portlet, which you can grab from the J6 GitHub page. But the thing for us is that we didn't, sorry, let's try again. The email preview portlet can be set up with any email account, but we wanted to restrict it only to the student's Oakland email account. And that's where our customization comes in. So we have, this is in the beginning what you would see, and we have a huge process to unlock your account so you guys can go ahead and sync. Once all that's taken care of, you can get this nice view once everything's customized. I don't have a picture of it, but we have it so all you have to do is enter in your net ID and your password, and everything else is already pre-configured for them. So we don't have to worry about call tickets or saying I can't get this thing set up or whatever it is. We're trying to make it as easy for the students as possible. So if you've never used the email preview portal or haven't seen some of the demos that Drew or anyone else has this is the first view. It's kind of just an overview, how many messages you have and whatnot. And then you click preview, and then you'll get the one down below where you can actually view all of your emails. You can reply, but you can't delete. Oh no, you can't. Sorry, you can't reply. I have that around. That's right. Yeah. And then we make heavy use of the CMS Portlets as well. We have a bunch of links designed for specific groups that access the portal. So the students have a academic set, all of our single sign-on services that they're usually going to. And then the advisor suite's going to have theirs, and then faculty have a different set as well. So when a student comes in, this is what they see. It's using I guess a simple jQuery mobile UI look and feel, and it actually works great on the desktop as well as the mobile view. And this was something we got hired Unicom to do? Yeah, about a year ago, and it was the change our background configuration. This was something that upper management really wanted. I really like it because it brings a little customization to the portal for each student. So we have a set of 10 images or so that the students can choose from, and they select one of the images and the background changes. Now it's expanded, throughout every tab, so there's not customization for that. But each student, rather than looking at a plain tan background over and over again, they can at least see a little something. And that is pretty much it. We'll open it up to questions if you guys want to talk about something else or go ahead. Yeah.
I noticed on your email preview portlet, you didn't have, and maybe you guys know the answer to this, but you guys didn't have the folders listed in we're using it right now, and it shows up. Did you guys suppress that yourselves, or?
Yeah, we did. I think we defaulted it to inbox. Because what we were having, some folks were changing it, and it did not even exist in the system. And it actually would crash the portlet for everyone if it happened enough. So yeah, we just hard coded it and made it so you can't change it. Yeah.
Because we're actually trying to solve it.
Yeah, we tried to limit it to as, you have your username, your password, and that's it.
We really try to simplify that
process.
process.
There were a lot of tickets coming in. I can't get this to work, and I didn't set this up properly, or anything else.
What's your SIS, your Student Information System?
That's the banner information system.
Banner, okay.
Yep.
What kind of API do they have that you're using to get your data?
They have a bunch of functions already set up in Oracle, and also some views you can look into. They are expanding into RESTful services here soon.
Yeah, but right now we have a bunch of queries, and we got to use a JDBC template to connect and run the queries, and then process all the data ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, they have some cool new tools, like they have a banner mobile connector that runs pretty similar to like eMobile does, although it is a whole banner server that just shoots out RESTful feeds that you can consume. So eventually, if they don't pick up on the one aspect of it, we might boot up one of those servers and start plugging it into our portal and our eMobile environment.
Do you guys have your layouts totally unlocked for users to customize them as they wish?
Yeah, there's some components, like announcements. We always want to be able to give them announcements. Also, the Oakland services, we lock those down, but pretty much everything else. They can add a new tab. They can add anything they want to the tab, shift them around, whatever they want to do.
So there are specific ones that we don't want deleted, right? And Tim's not in here anymore, but Tim was mentioning how he didn't notice that there was a customize feature. Now, I didn't know there was when I was a student as well. So if somebody deletes something that's, that's important, but they don't know how to get it back, that seems to be a problem. So
can they shuffle even those around?
They can shuffle them around. It's just they have to stay on the page.
And for announcements, are you using the out of the box or?
We're modifying it a little bit, but not too much. It's mostly just group based, and we are adding some new features because one of the issues that we've been having is someone will post an announcement out there and say it's good for the next 10 years and never do anything with it again. It's just this stale link that's here forever. And our students are now not reading our announcements. So we have one that will change the color of it if it's been posted in the last week or whatever. But also we're going to make it so it can't live past 30 days. We're going to put a little configuration change in there, and we're probably going to submit that back to Apereo so anyone can use it.
Yes, we have an announcements portlet, and it's fallen out of disuse, but I think largely a lot of that functionality is being maintained in other systems. And we're kind of toying with the idea of sort of trying to maybe merge the two, the RSS and the announcements, so that we can get that rich content rather than forcing them to regurgitate it for us.
Yeah, a good solution for that might be the notification portlet. You can do the feeds or whatever you need to. Eventually, we'd like to phase out the announcements portlet and have a different feed somewhere else, marketing. We're not there yet.
So, in the last example of it was like a bunch of campus links, that's a simple content portlet. Where are your icons hosted?
We replace those into the skin itself. There's like the icons folder, and then we have mobile icons as well.
Your progress ticket, did you read? Yeah. So do you have, what is the backend system that's generating the data, and then do you just consume that and then render all of the?
There's a package in Banner, and for a stored procedure, and you throw all the information at it, and it actually creates a view that we can grab all the information from.
Okay.
So in Java, we'll tell it to run the stored procedure, and then we'll tell it to query the view, and then we'll parse through all the data that we need, and then return it back to the view.
Yeah, the product is called CAP. They're phasing out, and eventually we're going to be going to DegreeWorks, likely. We'll change our feeds into that system.
The course schedule, the calendar Portlet, for each student, the custom feed is generated.
Right.
How is this, you use custom calendar format?
Let's see. Remember this. The calendar Portlet, or sorry, the courses Portlet has a courses Portlet API, and it will tie in for every student. And so that jar file is actually being used by the calendar Portlet as well. And so when the student is logged in, they can get specific information and then actually go and access their course, and it will generate a feed, pull it into the calendar Portlet for us.
So that feed is passing as a platform or as in Java?
It's a Java call. It's using it's actually using the courses Portlet API.
Although it does give you at the end that there's an iCal feed that the student can download with all their course information for that term or whatever, and then they can put it into Google or whatever calendar tool they're using.
Anything else?
We added the grid view to the courses Portlet.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if somebody took that and added that to the calendar.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Just a suggestion.
Just of course. Is the I haven't checked the repo in a while, but is the grid view stuff up there?
Oh, right.
We're working on pulling the from the course schedules, from the data, and making it available as a iCal, so that we pull them. That way we can leverage the three systems without actually having it specifically direct connection. One of the things we're working through is how do we do that in such a way that we're not having to create custom URLs for each user. Maybe even using CAPs to pull the user's information so that when the forward calendar is authenticated, but also identified. And therefore, the integration with the calendar Portlet is really just like any other account. So it's kind of the direction we're headed. We'll see how it works.
We're learning about that.
In your email preview Portlet, you said that you have it set up, but they still have to enter their username and ID.
Yeah.
I mean, their
Username and password.
Is there a reason why you didn't do single sign-on?
Yeah, there's a couple of different reasons, mostly political, but
Okay.
of course, Google Apps for Education is a nice area for trying to hack into emails and whatnot, to try to get some compromised account that you can spam everyone in the world with. So by default, we really lock that down. So you have to go through that whole step anyways. But then also our LDAP administrator does not want to use ClearPass or any of those type of technologies, which kind of really bound our hands with this.
Right. The reason I ask is we're in very similar situations.
Yeah.
Right. Have you found any other roadblocks of things that you have had challenges implementing because of not being able to use ClearPass?
I think that was our biggest one. There's a couple of other mismatch of system credentials. Like we have NetID and then another system you have to use your student ID. And there was some stuff that we could use, either ClearPass or something, to get that information out there, but and
Most of the stuff is we just send them to the single sign-on links, and then they can access whatever the utility is in its entirety,
Right.
Outside of the portal.
Yeah, you just launch it on there.
Right. Yeah.
How did your degree progress run on mobile devices? Well, I mean, did you
It's
design
it's
it?
as fast as the desktop.
Yeah, there's about a 2 to 3 second delay because it's a lot of data to chunk through.
Mhm.
The actual render phase is less than a second.
on either device.
But does it wrap and everything into more than one?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a custom design. You can show you that.
And you guys are,
So,
you're not using responder.
Not yet.
Yeah, so
not
you're-
yet. We're actually
Yeah.
trying to get a responder or a responsive theme onto the progress degree.
Yeah, it's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, so the stuff on the far side is actually shifted up, and then it all becomes one column, and then so actually the first part that you saw is over on the far side, and then just this is like what it would look like if you clicked on Capstone for Education, it would drop down like this, and then if you clicked on a different one, this would actually collapse, and the next one would actually expand. So like I said, you don't want to be scrolling forever trying to find, did I pass that one class? Did I find it? So. All right, cool. We'll be around, so if you guys want to chat, thank you.
Great, thanks.